Alright guys, what's going on? So, not gonna make this an extremely long video, but what you just saw there was a little glimpse of what you'll see later on in this video if you watch it all the way through. First, what I want to say to get it off my mind right now before I go into detail is what you saw, or what you're going to see at the end of me walking around is I'm pretty frustrated. I kept my anger pretty alright, but I'm pretty frustrated at that point in time. I didn't know, and I don't know what happens. Even at this point in time, I still don't know what 100% to think. My guard's up. I'm a little worried. I have cameras all over my place, but of course I parked the CRV in the one spot around the corner where you couldn't see it, just because I had so many cars sitting around and I was so tired. I parked it right out of the field of view of one of my cameras, and this seemed to happen either the night before or within the last day or two, because just Friday I drove that CRV about 45 minutes away to an old town we used to live in where the Prelude was getting painted at, and it takes about 30 to 45 minutes depending on which way you go and with traffic to get there, and everything. Sometimes 30 minutes if traffic's good. But needless to say, it's driving on the highway at 80 plus miles per hour for long distance, or on the side roads at 65 miles per hour. So there is no way in hell that the lug nuts were loose at that time. Otherwise, I would have felt it. I was the one driving all the way there. I had my kids in the car, my wife in the car, and my wife drove all the way back following me in the Prelude and had no issues, nothing that concerned her. Then I got in the car again the next day and drove to the grocery store down the street and around town and through the car wash. Didn't feel a thing. So this either happened Sunday night or Monday night. And I have very trouble. This could have been a freak accident. But it also worries me. You guys have to understand, if you know me and you guys watch my stuff, and if you know what I'm on social media, you've already seen some of the pictures. But if you follow me on social media and follow me on here, you know everything I went through with heart surgery and everything. I know I've been busy. I know I've been sick. But I know my stuff, and I know what happens. And here and there, I'm not perfect. I may forget things or forget this scratch or this damage and stuff like that. That can happen. So I will talk about the wheel here a little bit further. But for the most part, I have never left my lug nuts loose. And if I did leave them loose, like taking right off, I could feel it right away. And I was like, oh crap, stop, tighten the lug nuts. And I just cannot see driving just 2 days ago, 45 minutes one way, and then 45 minutes the way back pretty much to our house, that there was not even one wobble. And I've driven the car for over 3 months. It got the tires rotated and the new tires put on the front back in February, I want to say. Probably sometime end of February. So a little bit around 3, maybe 2.5 months. We have driven the car every single day, multiple times back and forth to Hartford while the Prelude was getting worked on. All around town, all around town. We have a very big city. It's not the biggest, of course, but you know, it's enough driving. The point is, guys, we've driven that CRV, the 2000, my wife or me, every single day. That car was driven. And even though we had it for sale, or didn't even put it up for sale, the guy that knows me, wants to work on his car, offered. His name is Ishmael. He doesn't mind if I put him on there. He came and gave me $4,000 and decided they wanted to buy the car. I said, hey, with everything on it, I would take 65, to be honest with you, because otherwise I'm going to be moving all the lifted stuff over to my CRV, and I'm going to leave the 4-inch kit on and a few goodies, and I'm probably going to put this up for sale for $4,500. And he was like, well, I would like to get it with everything on it. And I said, well, with everything on it, this is what I'd let it go for right now, because it's going to cost me other stuff, you know, blah, blah, blah. Without going into too much detail, he was like, hey, here's $4,000. Would you mind holding it to the end of the month for me for $2,500? I said, fine. But if that's the case, we're going to hold on to it, and my wife is still going to have to drive it. So it is going to be daily driven until it's paid off. He was like, that's fine, man. Completely understand. I was like, if anything happens to it, I'll give you your money right back. So needless to say, this happens to it. Now, many people around us and other people knew that it was for sale. I'm a very open guy. I don't hide anything. I don't care. I usually get along with everybody. Even if I don't like the person, I generally keep to myself. Unless they're in my face or doing something or asking for it, I don't bother with it. It's a waste of time, in my opinion. So, what bothers me is somebody did this with malicious intent, if this is what happened, to hurt my wife and my kids and possibly me. And most people, if it's someone we know, they know my wife drives this 99% of the time with my children inside. I drive my other vehicles or my work truck. So while keeping my calm during this video, because at that point, just saying that stresses me out, pisses me off, angers me like no other, and worries me all at the same time. I have no proof, and I don't know 100% if that happened. I can tell you after they were rotated, I tightened them with my impact just to make sure, because I have the spacers on there. Now, I've had many people say, hey, it could be the spacers, it could have been the ball joints, could have been this, could have been that. Listen, I want to tell you this, and I don't want to sound like a dick, but I know it was not that. I have driven with those spacers from Florida all the way back multiple times. I've checked my lug nuts, I've done my stuff, I've done my due diligence, and I've had no problem. They're hub-centric and a nice brand of spacers, and I've never had an issue. Another thing where that could be a possibility, and I could understand that's a thought, that could be a possibility, is another thing is the rear have the same spacers on there. I have the same size spacers all the way around, and the rear were just as tight as the day I checked them. But yet the passenger was loose and the driver was extremely loose. Now I'm going to show you something. Here are 4 of the lug nuts. The 5th one is in the car. If you look in there, there is no sheared metal. None. There's a little bit of sheared right here and right here where I used them to bolt back on the wheel at that time because I had to use these ones. And I ended up using some bigger, longer ones because the wheel is so messed up now, and I'll show you that. Or not the wheel itself, the hub is so messed up. The wheel is actually in perfect shape, thank goodness. And the only reason why the wheel is in perfect shape is because it just fell off. These literally fell off. I found these all down the street. 3 by each other, and then the other 2 separated. So they were within time. So guys, these lug nuts got loose and just fell off. That's how loose they were. So this could be a freak accident. It very well could, but it doesn't make a lot of sense, which really concerns me. I don't go mess with anybody's cars, and most car guys in my entire life, if you have beef with a car guy, if you're going to throw hands with a car guy, or you got any kind of beef, you generally throw hands with them, or talk shit to them, or go to them, or it's handled. Most car guys, no matter how much you hate each other, have enough respect that you don't fuck with another person's family, and you don't fuck with their vehicle. That's like an unwritten rule. You just don't do that. At least the way I grew up. It's not something that I've ever had to worry about. It was either face-to-face handling my business, or it was you talk it over like 2 grown men, and you figure out half the time it's bullshit, and what you heard is bullshit, and you get it squashed, right? So this makes me wonder if it was other intent, possibly because I worked for Costello and people have been evicted and other things that I didn't even have anything to do with, but possibly they think I did. I don't know. I don't know why it sickens my stomach if somebody did this. Then again, I have no proof, and it could be a freak accident. So either way, another person said it could have been the ball joints. Totally understand that view. It was not the ball. The ball joints were brand new. The ball joints are perfect on the other side. I checked them. In fact, I just had the shop check them. They're in good shape. Tie rods are brand new. Inner tie rods are brand new. Rack and pinion was brand. All of these parts were less than a year old with name brand parts that were decent and had held up. With the same parts that are on my 99, and I put my 99 through just as much abuse when it was lifted and even more abuse when it's lowered. So as far as getting on it and speed goes. So I cannot see that happening. And if you look at the damage, the way everything happened, it wouldn't. Now, it probably would have been much better. My wife panicked. And understandable, she has never been in this situation. I try to prepare her for things like this because I have had weird things happen to me in the past. Never had my wheel fly off or fall off this way. I've had studs break on me before, but I've never had it just fall off. So she panicked and she mashed the gas thinking she hit the brake, and she just went forward. The rotor is barely even grinded because she went forward and rolled on the rotor. So it actually doesn't have that much damage, surprising. And she hit the curb and literally launched the damn thing and went into the field and around. Thank goodness she landed in the field. Thank goodness she landed away from everybody. Thank God for all of that. I'm very happy that that happened that way. And I will tell you guys, the HRG skid plate is no joke, because if that HRG skid plate was not there, she would have crushed the oil pan, crushed the header, damaged the frame even more. And that HRG skid plate is barely bent. And I'll show you out there. So shout out to HRG for saving the rest of my vehicle. That's awesome. Unfortunately, guys, she did bend the frame hard, and it's done. The 2000 CRV is done. As you guys know, it was an accident before. I fixed it, and I'm done with it, moving on. The 6-inch kit is coming from my 99. I'm lifting it back up over time, and a lot of other goodie surprises that I am going to start doing some unboxing and videos and showing you guys what's planned. It does suck. The 2000 CRV was sold at the end of the month. We were going to do the Hondas with Heart car show. It was going to be its last car show with us. We were going to clean it all up, glorify it all up, make it look all great, and you know, send it out on a good goodbye, I guess you'd say. So my wife is crushed. This was her baby. She learned a lot and did a lot with me, a ton, and she is really hurt by this more than I thought she would be. She was hurt with selling it, but she knew it was okay because we wanted to get a bigger vehicle, and she was like, okay, at least I'll get to see it go, and know it's going into good hands, because these people would have taken great care of it, I believe. But she's even more hurt by this. She's disappointed in herself, which I think she shouldn't be, but she is, because she hit the gas. She's crushed because it was her vehicle and it was her baby, and she had a lot of fun. My daughter loved it. My son loved it. And, you know, it's not the one that started my channel. That was my 99 that lifted, and that's the one I got sponsored with. But it had a big thing to do with my channel in the start, and a lot of people. And it was really cool to put that same kit on a 5-speed and then on an automatic and see the differences and learn. So in all, I look at this as a positive thing, as a learning experience. The guy that put the money down wants a lot of the parts, so we worked out the same deal where he's gonna buy most of the parts for that same price, and then anything left over I will part out, and then I'm gonna have to junk the shell. So to wrap this up before I do the walk around, guys, and the video of what happened that day, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I know I have some followers from South Dakota. Shout out to you guys. Thank you. If you have a channel and you're in here in South Dakota, you have a channel, I'd love to support other channels and give a shout out, and you know, do some more things with maybe some of the channels. If you hear anything, any rumors, even let me know. I mean, because guys, this isn't just shit talking. If this was done with the intent, this was with the intent to kill or hurt my family. How else can you look at it? It's either a freak accident or it was that. And I just don't understand how it could be just the fronts and not the rear. And they were just fine a couple days ago. Now the scratches, I will say, on the wheel, I did look back. I did see those scratches. They are probably from a balance machine when they were balanced last in February. And I guess I missed that. Or might have noticed it, but then forgot. I've been very, very busy with a lot of things and a lot of life changes. So that could happen. But I even thought about that as chalking that up to possibility with the loose lug nuts, but I cannot fathom that they're loose when I just checked them, I'd say probably about 2 months ago again, and then that same day I tightened them with the impact when it came back from the shop just to make sure. And I just drove out 45 minutes to you know, Hartford and back, and then around town the day before that, and there was no wobble or indication of loose lug nuts. So yeah, I don't know what to think there, guys. That bothers me, and you can let me know what you think in the comments, of course. But I will go over, I'll put some pictures I took up in this video, and we'll go outside. In fact, I'll open the garage door, and I believe with this phone I can switch it right around. So just give me a second instead of actually stopping the video and going. I'll just do this all in real time. There we go. So let's get past the Prelude here, past the work truck, and there she is. So you guys can see, look at, I mean, she hit hard. You can see how much she's just squatted down over there on the driver's side. So she hit hard enough to break the rear fender flares, and actually popped out that corner light in the bumper. I had to pop it back in. Crushed the fender. The fender was pretty much just damaged, but when I opened the door, it got a little bit more damage. You can see the wheel is just crushed in there. Lost the center cap. Luckily I have an extra one on the spare, so I have 4 that match, and the spare doesn't really need one. So let me see. You can see where it broke. It was already damaged, of course, you guys know there, but I had a lot of it knocked out. Like, actually some of that even got pushed back in. She hit so hard, she popped the trailering arm bushings out on both sides. I just got that fixed again. There's luckily no damage to the lift kit and no damage to those rear trailing arm bushings, so they're gonna go to him. Because like I said, all this stuff is less than a year old pretty much. The exhaust is going to him. This I'm keeping. That's going to go on the 2nd gen, because that's kind of a little gift to my wife. That was like a step bar for her to step up on the back. He's getting the taillight covers and headlight covers. The roof rack I am going to be selling. The basket I'm going to keep. That's going to go back on mine. The wheels and tires are going to him. Let's see, the springs and struts are going to him. Those are all still in good shape. Like I said, the exhaust, the 1320 on the equal link header is going to him. You can see that one popped out too from getting hit. Front wheel over here too is cockeyed. I can't even get it straight. Snorkel kit's going to him. I'm buying him a new set of fender flares because those ones are broken, obviously, on the side. He has the OEM grill guard, or bush guard, so he wants to keep that. Skid plate is going to him. I should be able to bend back the 2 little pieces that got bent because it's pretty damn tough, durable skid plate. But let me watch out for this ant pile. Plus, I'm getting ready to go out to eat with my wife, so I don't want to get all nasty. If you guys look where that sway bar is, if you go look at yours, that sway bar is pushed back almost to the O2 sensor on the test pipe. That should be a good couple inches of a difference. You can see where it got pushed back up here and actually bent upwards. So the sway bar is shot. The ball joint ripped apart once she hit the curve. The axle ripped out. Those are brand new axles, 2 Napa axles. The tie rod end is bent. The outer tie rod I haven't got to check. You can see the skid plate is a little bent. The tabs are, and that's why I think I should be able to bend that thing back. What else? Everything else in the rear is pretty good. Oh, good shape. He's getting the Aerogenics lower control arms. He has his own set of Nerf bars, so he's like, anything I already have, you just keep on there. So I should be putting those up for sale. He's getting the black housing headlights he wants, and the tail lights. The brush guard, I haven't decided if, or the bull guard, I haven't decided if I'm going to sell that or put that on mine yet. All of the interior, he has his set of interior, so I'll be doing that. My light bar I'm keeping. He has his own light bar. But he is getting a lot of the extra engine pieces, a lot of the whole entire 4-inch kit. He's getting the fender flares. What else? Just a ton of stuff. Once I start taking off all the little things, it all adds up. All the brand new engine mounts, anything he needs for his swap for me to do, the spacers, all that's going over to him. So we kind of worked out that deal. And if there's any more money needed, he's gonna be paying me more, and then plus the labor and stuff. So yeah, guys, so I'll let you know if you're looking for anything and I have it available. I I will put it up there, all for sale. I would say follow my Instagram is going to be the easiest to get a hold of me. But also you can look for CRV_Tom or just CRV Tom, I think, on Facebook. I'm not on the Facebook account as much. I really don't use Facebook as much unless it's for my family for the most part. So sorry, now I'm a little bit more quiet. That's a little bit emotional for me to walk around after seeing that, man. That's not the way I wanted to go out. And trying to keep my calm there. It also pisses me off because it makes me worried, and it makes me think there's some really dirty human beings. And after having, I don't say much about myself or my past or my people, but or anything like that. But after having kids and being married, I've changed and calmed myself down, and I don't want to have to go back to a person that I used to be and the way I used to handle things. But this is really pushing my buttons. Let's just say that. It's really pushing my buttons. And I kind of hope I don't find them. So, and I hope they stay the fuck away if it was someone. But again, it could be a freak accident. So, whatever. But yeah, guys, just keep the good will come from this. You know, at least this works out where Ishmael wants the parts. And I'm glad to see him go on his car. They kind of all have a story to tell, which is really cool. And I'll get to still see it and work on it once I heal up a little bit more in my chest and everything. I'll be doing that work. I'll probably be a little bit later this year. And, you know, and then some of you guys might, if you're looking, might end up with some of the parts too. And it has a story to tell. That vehicle, that CRV is very well known in the CRV world. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but at the same time, there's good that comes at it too. So, all right, guys, well, stay tuned for happier videos, better videos. There's going to be a lot more unboxing and different things and more projects to come. And it's not the end of the world. It is just a vehicle when it comes, you know, to the end. It was a special vehicle, but it's just a vehicle, and it can be replaced. Everybody's okay. And, you know, stay tuned for more stuff. And I do appreciate all the people that reached out to us, all of the love, all of the concerns. Thank you very much for that. And I'll leave you with the footage here, and that's how we'll end this video, okay? All right, guys, have a good one, YouTube. So this happened today, and we're sitting in a field right now. CRV's fucked. Frame's probably completely bent. My wife came all the way around there. See that Honda Del Sol back there? She literally started to lose lug nuts right over there by that gold car. She didn't realize what was going on. All the way over, lost the wheel right around here. I'll show you skid marks on the ground. Came all the way around. Luckily missed all those cars. Went all the way over here. Bounced right over this curb, I'll show you. All the way over here. And the wheel was off when flying off. I got the wheel back on. Everything is bent. Axle's broken. Everything's fucked up. Frame's bent. Somebody, I'm almost 100% positive, loosened these lug nuts because the back were tight. And if you guys know me and watch my channel, I do not scratch my wheels like that. I do not look trying to get my lug nuts in and scratch up all my wheels. I've had these wheels for over 4 years. Yes, they're dirty, but I have not damaged them. Somebody, and these were loose too when I got here. Somebody loosened the lug nuts, and she went all the way from here. Thank God the kids weren't in the car. You can see the tracks. Bounced over the curb, and that's why I'm pretty sure the whole frame is fucked. Because she hit it so hard, there's damage in the rear. She bounced over the curb right here. You can see that. Thank goodness for the skid plate, for the HRG skid plate, because there's no damage to the oil pan or engine. Started to lose control over here. You can still see the marks. See that? Rotor cutting right into the ground. We found
4 of the lug nuts. Here's the rest of her track. You can see that. And look, here's the 5th lug nut. And these lug nuts were not stripped. They were loose. Look at that. Inside. Completely not stripped. All the way messed up. Look at this. She's been riding on rotor from all the way back here. You see that? You got cars coming, so sorry. So she must have lost the wheel right here. So it finally came off. And there it is in there. So yeah, I'm fucking pissed. Getting ready to put dollies on the rear. I'm pretty sure this thing is screwed and the frame is bent, like I was saying, looking at it more. I mean, she hit it so hard that she broke the rear and damaged the rear more, which I know that was damaged before. Popped both trailing arm bushings out of the rear. There's where the tire hit the door, you can see, and just completely damaged the whole front end. Jammed in the whole rear. See why he has it up. I can look under it a little bit better. There's the axle popped out. Bent the skid plate. Thank goodness for the skid plate. That protected the oil pan and the header and everything. So good job, HRG. Like a whole control arm is bent. Upper control arm is bent. True Heart upper control arm up there is bent. You can see even with pressure on it, the spring is sitting right against the frame. It's screwed up.